Trying to stream to Instagram today and that did not work. So here we are. I think today we're doing an acrylic painting. So I really liked the golden open ones last time. So now I'm doing a bigger canvas. Forget what size, but it's my hand for scale. Usually I paint on smaller ones, but I'm going to try a bigger one this time. And this is a stretched canvas, not a canvas board. So I'm going to get my paints out. Got burr number first. And ultramarine blue. This is cadmium red light. Actually, I don't know if I wanted that. Let me check. Yeah, it'll work. I was thinking I might choose alizarin crimson instead, but I don't know. This painting's not going to be particularly red anyway. This is cadmium yellow. And last but not least, some titanium white. All right, so I'll start with this synthetic filbert. And I think on this one, I'm going to trying to think whether or not I want to go with a more like acrylic technique or more like oil technique since I'm using the golden opens. So if I was doing an oil technique, I would just paint darks to lights and just put the colors where they go. But with acrylic, I kind of like to go in layers, so I'll paint like I'll block in everything with sort of a mid-tone or a color that's kind of close. And then I'll paint layers over it to get it to where I want it. So the first thing I'm going to do though is get my scale right. And so I think I was wiping my tube off of that cad red and it made my brush dirty, so it'll help me make a nice little line there. I'm not worried about keeping it too straight or anything like that, because I can change it if it looks wrong. I think I'm just going to paint the sky first, is what I'm going to do. That's what I want to do. I don't really want to go dark to light, so I'm going to do that first. Let me get this cadmium red off on my brush here. Let me grab a paper towel too. I'm going to leave my brush a little bit wet. so I can mix the colors a little easier. I think what I'm going to want first, I'm going to try to like get this nice and, well, I was going to say nice and blended, but now I'm thinking, just going to paint. See what happens. Okay, I want that color a little darker. Made it a little too dark there. Just trying to get some color on the canvas here. Let me tell you, these big canvases, they get me kind of intimidated. I don't know why. Because honestly, painting on a big canvas should be just like painting on a small canvas. If you just use bigger brushes, it should be exactly the same. To me, it always like, there's a little more pressure, I think, for me, for some reason, with the bigger canvases. It's kind of irrational. Because if anything, the bigger canvases can be easier. Because it allows you to kind of hide mistakes with details, and you don't have to be so focused on getting it right the first time. Just trying to vary up the colors a little bit. Get some water in there so I can get it to flow a little more. Trying to make some kind of fun brushwork in there. Maybe that'll get left in, maybe it won't. We'll find out. Okay. So now my plan is to go into some kind of pale green. So that should be fun to try and do. This will be kind of a transition. Turn off this light here. Looks like it's hard for you to see. Oh, there you go. Now you can see. Apologize for that. Still trying to iron out the whole lighting thing. It's tricky trying to get good light for a whole table in kind of a small space. Because I'm just like in the corner of my guest room right now. That's where I do this. Okay, I want more of that, I think. I'm going to try and get some water in there so I don't have to mix more. Just going to get some of that around. And here, actually, I think I'm going to get some of that's going to be a little bit more green. Let's get some of that green. I kind of want like a blue-green sort of sky. So a little more blue, I think. Like that. Putting a little bit of water in there. So I can get it to flow a little easier. Just mixing up some more of that. It's a little bit too green, I think. Okay, let's see what we got now. All right, I think I'm going to do the same color and then mix a little bit of white in it. I didn't put enough blue on this palette. I said I'm used to painting on those tiny baby canvases, so now I got a big one. I gotta adjust myself. And I'm gonna be killing all kinds of paint, which always feels good. Getting slapped in the wallet. I have add some white to this. White's cooling it down a lot. And let me try that. I want it a little more green. I think that'll do it. Maybe a little more white in there. That's too green now. Blue might be a bad idea. More white, I think. Ooh, almost punched my water. Alright, I think that's better. Trying to leave a lot of brushwork in here. And you still can't see. Come on, let me kill this other light. Is that better or worse? Worse, okay. I don't know. It ain't too bad, but it's not perfect. One of these days I'm gonna get that lighting situation fixed. And once it gets fixed, I'm gonna leave it. It'll stay that way. And a little bit more water so I can get some more paint up and down over here. Okay, I think I'm gonna lighten it more now. So I'm gonna add some more white in there. A little more yellow. Okay, that's pretty good. I need more paint. That's looking a little too green for my taste. Trying to get some blue-green going on. I'll try that. It's a little duller than I wanted it. Let me try adding some more blue. Yeah, that's better. Some more water on there so I can get it to flow a little bit. I need to vary up the color in here a little bit, so I think I'm going to throw some more blue areas in. Keep my colors from getting too homogeneous. I think I'm using that word right. Oh, that's too green. Okay. All right, now we get a nice abstract mess of color, which is the best way to start a painting, depending on what you're painting. We'll see if it works out for this one, I suppose. Trying to mix up a little bit of another pale green. This one I want a little bit more on the green side, though. I think I wanted it lighter. And a little more blue. That's too blue. That's too green. Let me get some green. I'll try something. See if I have any green first. Is this green? Sap green. Manganese blue. Well, I guess I ain't trying it because I ain't got no green, which makes sense because I don't really buy colors that I don't tend to use. I was gonna see if, because right now it's like a little bit duller than I want it to be. So I was gonna throw some like Viridian green in there or something, maybe like Hooker's green, to like really bring it up. I don't have that, so it ain't happening. Such is the way. Okay, now I need to go this color but darker and a little less saturated over here, I think. I'm killing this blue. I tell you right now, this painting is going to take ages to dry. I'm going to have to like work on the whole thing while it's wet. Okay. That's too bright. All right. Let's see what now. Trying to unify everything now. It looks like I've got a lot of sort of random spots. Oh, that's too late. I don't want to get too blendy with it because I kind of am liking having a lot of texture in there. I'll try throwing some of this in there. Get a little bit more interest in there. Okay. I want to lighten this up in here, not like that. All right, there we go. That's this guy. Now we got to do the hard part and paint actual things. Scary. Really scary. I'm pinching some of the paint off of my brush here, and then I'm going to wash it. And I think I'm going to take this round brush, and I'm going to paint me a moon. Get some white, and I don't want it to be just white. I'm going to throw some yellow in there. Maybe I'll throw a little bit of blue in there. to give it like a little bit of green look to it. Now we're gonna try this. It's pretty subtle. I don't know. Maybe I'll make it a little less subtle. A little more white in there, a little more yellow. A tiny bit more blue, more white, more blue, more white. All right, that's a little less subtle. I might come back and touch that up later on when it's dry a little bit. Clean this round off and move on. Okay. Now it's time to get into some more green colors. More typical green colors, I should say. Thinking, do I want to keep using the big brush? I think I do. So I'm going to just throw some more blue in there because I'm going to need it. I'm going to kill this whole tube of blue here today. They don't give you much of that golden open. I mean, I guess because I bought like a starter set or whatever for this stuff, but it's only 3/4 of a fluid ounce. Ain't that much in there. This painting might be the end of it. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to get the background stuff in there. Need more yellow too. Trying to make this a sort of a dark green color. So I'm just adding my dark colors in there with some yellow. Maybe a little more blue. Trying to get a look at it and see. It's kind of hard to tell with the dark color sometimes what color it actually is. I think we're going to go with this. Just trying to add some abstract looking dark trees there in the background. So I'm just like holding my brush like this. I'm just slapping. That's all I'm doing. Slapping. Okay. Mission accomplished. we'd have distant foliage. Now, now what do we do? Let's see. I think I'm gonna wait. I was thinking about putting my darks in here on the bottom, but I'm gonna wait. Making a mess. So I want pretty saturated green here. It's pretty saturated green, I'd say. I'm gonna throw this guy back in here. They're a little bit closer. Throw some darks in there. Especially around the bottom. I don't like that yellow in there, so I'm trying to pull that out. Okay. Now maybe we'll throw some of this back in here too. Okay. Now it's time to work on our lights, I think. I'm doing paper towel management here. It's an important job. I'm gonna wash my brush a little bit. Well, actually, it's just got green in it. I can do green. That's fine. Now I'm going to mix up some light colors. I'm hoping maybe that just the green that's in my brush will give me kind of what I want, which it actually is. You see what that looks like. It's actually a little more yellow than I want. I think I want a little bit of white in it too. Not too much, because the white's gonna like milk it up. I want to keep it saturated. I'm just gonna try my best to get this in here. Kind of interesting shapes. I can already tell just because I kind of forgot just how slow the golden open acrylics dry. I'm gonna probably have to do this one in 2 parts just to like let the whole sky dry, because right now I'm working on kind of the foreground bits, but eventually I want to put a tree right here, and I want to put it on dry, I think, and real thick. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do that for several hours, because I think I think this paint is pretty wet. I guess we'll find out here. Maybe I'll do a little test or something and see before I just chicken out. We're a long ways away from being anywhere close to done anyway. I'll pull some of this color in there. All right, let's get some more saturated green here. Oh, that was a lot of blue. I didn't mean to put that much blue in there. I'm actually really digging how strong that yellow is. Seems like sometimes my yellows that I use are a little weak, and that one's pretty strong. Like usually when I'm mixing up a green, I'll put yellow first and then just add like a little bit of blue in it. But with that golden open, it's a primrose, cadmium yellow primrose. Seems like it does about what I want it to do. Trying to get that edge pretty abstract looking, not blendy. Let's get some more of that in here. A little more white in it. There's a lot more white in it. That sort of transitioned into a color I didn't want. I think I can work with it anyway, though. It's a little, yeah, that color's a little milkier than I wanted it to be. But it's not too bad. It'll blend in nicely with the yellow. All right, let's sync. All right, let's desaturate that green. Okay. So this is the bottom of the painting right here. So you can just barely kind of not see just a little bit of this, so I apologize for that. This is a big canvas, so I did the best I could, trying to get as much of it as I could in the camera here. Okay. I think I'm just going to put the darks on top of the lights because I want to. I think I'm going to do the first layer of this in the golden open, and then I'm going to come back in with some more slower drying acrylics and do some of the later stages of it like that. Okay. I want to put some dark bits in there. Oh my, that happened. Uh, this is too much paint. Really, probably shouldn't be doing that. I should just really wait. Should wait until it's dry before I'm doing this. And I'm impatient, you know. Just can't help myself. I didn't like that, so he got pushed off. I don't know if I want that. Trying to think on what to do here. Yeah, I think I need to just wait until it's dry to be putting all this stuff in. I'm just getting a little bit, it's getting too blendy for my taste. And that's no good. Can't be getting blendy with it yet. So I think I'm just going to block stuff in. We'll leave it at that. I'll check and see if the sky is workable yet. Probably not. We'll find out. Trying to get a little bit of like interesting shapes in there so I don't have to play with it too much when it gets to be time to actually put the details in, but I'm gonna have to do a lot of work with it, especially in the foreground here. That's just how it's gonna be. Too lazy to clean my brush, so I'm just gonna grab a smaller filbert here because it's handy for me. Trying to mix, not that. I think that'll work. Don't have to be perfect. Just want a little more yellow. Okay, some blue in there. Almost got the canvas covered. Almost there. Trying to see if I can't like throw some grass looking shapes in there. Okay. If I were lazy, a really lazy impressionist, I would say, all right, done. Job's done, going home. But I think I've got a little more that I want to do with this painting. I want to put some big old trees in it. And if I kind of did it half and half. I mean, at the beginning, I was kind of debating whether or not I wanted to go kind of impressionistic with it and play around with it like it was oils. And then I said, no, I'll do the acrylic thing. And then I said, no, I'll do the oil thing. Forgetting what I said. But I definitely thought about it. And I obviously didn't think hard enough because I did half and half. The bottom, I did an acrylic painting, and the top, I did an oil painting. So here we are. We're stuck. Wait a sec. Oh yeah, that's still all kinds of wet. So my choices now are I can go like super thick paint and just paint the trees on top of this, which could look very cool. And I could do that now. Or I can wait. I can wait until this dries and actually work on it with some dry acrylic techniques, which is going to get a lot more detail. Yeah, I really think that's what I want to do. Because I'm liking how impressionistic and all that it looks. I think I got the colors kind of nice. But I want to get those trees in there and have them looking good, so I think I'm going to stop now and just wait for it to dry. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just throwing in some like dark spots just because I'm allowed to do that. Since it's still kind of wet and I can play around. I think I want to cut those trees in, those background trees in a little bit more flat. Want them to look like they're a little bit more actually in there. Okay, I'll throw some of that over here too. All right, let's see what else I want to do. I think that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to stop and wait. So what I think I'm going to do, well, okay. This is an idea. I mean, I've got a lot of paint left over there and I don't want to use, well, yeah, I can do the, no. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start another painting while I got the paints out. So I'm not wasting these golden opens here. Which means I'm going to have to do some cleanup here on the fly. Stand by here. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup so that I'm going to have to move this. That's going to be treacherous. I got to find a place to put it. Hold on. I guess it's going on the kitchen table. All right, I'm back with a tiny baby panel. So there's two ideas I have. One idea is I could just paint that same thing that I was, oh, darn. Paint that same thing that I was painting on this, or I could do a new painting. I kind of think new painting, because it seems like a cop-out to do the same one, doesn't it? I'm going to do a new one. That also means I'm going to have to kind of wipe a lot of this off of my palette here. This one I'll just do real impressionistic like. I'm kind of in that mood today. Not really in a mood to paint details, but I really like the colors in that sort of dark foresty, or that, you know, dark field looking scene that I was doing. I just loved like those blue green, I don't know, turquoise kind of colors. They're a lot of fun. So I want that painting to look, I want to spend a little more time with it. So this one that I'll do, I think I can just split it right down the middle. Maybe a little bit off center here, so maybe like here. Okay, let me take this panel down. Maybe I'll, since we're already experimenting and this stream has been kind of all over the place, let's go absolutely crazy with it, and I'll give it a close-up of this painting so that it's a little bit more interesting. So let me get my zoom out. Okay, how about that? How about that? Okay, we'll do that. See how I feel. I'll just try to use the top half of the palette. All right. This one's going to be a pretty different feel, so buckle up, I say. Let's use flats on this one, I think. Just going to use some flat brushes. Cleaning this filbert off, good. Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to use a dagger brush. I don't know. Is there a difference between a dagger and an angled flat? Is the angled flat shorter than a dagger? I don't know. What we got? Oh, I was going to tape this down. Let me do that for you so it's not moving around quite so much. Two paintings for the price of one today. Or I guess 1.5. Maybe 0 if this one doesn't work out, which it might not. Never mind. It's always that chance that the painting's going to be a disaster. Let me get my phone back out so I can listen to some music. I think that's the nicest way to paint, is a little bit of music, maybe a glass of wine or something. It's the best way to do it. Okay, so I'm going to do impressionistic, so darks first. So let's get some darks in there. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Then I'm going to take this same color and lighten it over here. Let me bust out my other blue. Just because I kind of want to see what it looks like. I never use this. It's manganese blue hue. And it kind of looks like the color that I want. And I've already don't have a whole lot of blue left on there, so I'm going to try some of this, see what it looks like. I mean, I assume it's going to be like kind of a cerulean blue, but I guess we're going to find out. Oh, that's not really what I thought it would be. More like a turquoise. It's like sort of got some green to it. Kind of like it though. All right, that's looking pretty nice. I'm gonna get an even cooler, lighter variant of that. We're gonna get some of that in there. Mix those together a little bit. Get kind of a smoothish transition there. Get a really light bit in here for like a cloud or something. Okay. Wipe my brush off here a little bit. I get a pretty intense, really saturated looking color here. And it's going to be the water. Okay, I'm going to start with that. I think I'm going to put the darks in first before I do any of that. So let's start doing that. Let's get some more darks in there. That should stay wet for a little while. Okay, so this is just sort of a purple color. I'm going to have to put this on pretty thick, so let me actually get more paint. Get some water too, so I can get it flowing good. Alright, we're going to be using high precision here. It's hard painting on wet acrylic, man, I'm telling you. It doesn't like it. I should have painted around this. I really love the golden opens. I think they're really great for like a nice in-between oil and acrylic, but they just feel totally different than acrylics, and I forget halfway through using them that I should not be doing what I'm doing. All right, let's see what we got now. Thinking Like, can I just keep going with the impressionistic thing and pretend that that looks okay? I'll never know that I didn't know what I was doing if it ends up looking okay. Okay, now it's time to start getting some other colors in there. I need to clean my brush off though. Get some more of this little bit of yellow. Get me a nice turquoise, and then I have to make it much darker. That's an interesting color, but not at all what I wanted. Get some white in there. Alright, we'll call that okay. I need more of that. Need more blue in general. I made this way too green. Added too much yellow to it. Wow, let's go ahead and we're just going to switch to this manganese blue hue since I'm like never going to use it. Just kill this tube. It's not a bad blue, it's just got, you know, when you work with the same colors for a little while, you start to get kind of accustomed to them, which is a good thing. And I've just gotten accustomed to ultramarine blue, and so I like the colors that it mixes. That, and it's closer to a true blue than like this is. So if I wanted to mix a really, really intense true blue, I don't really think you can mix it with that. And like right now, I'm trying to get this to be bluer, and it's just turning green. So I think I have to have some ultramarine blue. I think I'm just going to start over and ignore that turquoise color I've been playing with. Just put this over here. Add a tiny bit of white in there. Tiny bit of brown in there. Okay. More blue, I think. Okay, that's what I want. Kind of a gray. I get some warmer colors in there. Some warmer neutral colors. Let's see what else. Okay. Now it's time for some oranges. Well, actually, no. Let's put in the shadow. Well, yeah, let's put in the shadows. Yeah, I want. Need some more water in there. It's a little bit dry. I put too much water in there. Shouldn't have done that. That's all right. Figure it out. Okay, I can play in the water later, I think. Now I think I need to get some orange in there. I'll make sure I wash my brush off because blue is the opposite of orange and I was just playing with blue. Okay, I'm trying to get kind of a yellow orange color here. Okay, let's get some more of that. I'm gonna try to touch some areas back in there to give some depth. Blend it with my finger a little bit. Just lighten up areas, basically. Okay. Alright, I don't hate that. So now I'm gonna throw some yellow in there. That's not yellow. That might be okay though. No. Well, actually, that might be okay. Yeah, that's okay. That's gonna be the, that can just be the shoreline. Okay. I think I need to finish up those shadows and then just put some yellow on top of them when I decide to do that. I do think that's what I need to do. Okay, let's do that. Let's put the darks in. Washing my brush because I'm going back to blue. Actually, you know what? Just move into a different brush so I don't have to keep washing them. Because I'm lazy. Just a bright shadow color is what I was doing. Let's just mix a new one here, so. Trying to get some kind of broken colors going on in here. I don't know how successful I'm going to be. We're going to try it. It's going to be a lot of blending that happens in here. I think I just want it thicker in general. Just want a little bit more contrast against that orange. I think what I'm going to do is do those kind of sparkly lights with a palette knife. I'm going to do, you know, when light hits the water and it kind of like breaks up. That's what I'm going to do in the water. Or I'm going to try to do it. And I'm going to have to do it with a palette knife, put it on there real thick. It's just going to have to be how it is. All right, now I'm going to go into that more intense blue color. which I think was just this blue and white. Indeed it was. I don't know what I'm going to do with the VOD for this video. Which painting is the thumbnail, you know? Guess it depends on which one I like. Guess I could like split them in half. It's a lot of work though. Yeah, I think I want to fade it out up into a lighter blue towards the top. So I'm going to start throwing some lighter blues in there. I might leave some white in there. See what I think about that. Sometimes when you leave some white in it, it does nice things. It looks nice. All right. I think, I don't know what I think about leaving the white in. I think I'm taking it out. Okay. I think it's about time to start fixing. Well, I'll do the palette knife first. Yeah. Let's get a transition color in there too. Let's throw some of that transition color in there. Break that zone up a little bit. Okay. I'm just sort of seeing that edge up there and I don't like it. And thus I have destroyed it. Just adding some kind of swirly bits in there. Because I can. Okay, now I want to add some like lights in this. This is supposed to be sort of like a town. And it needs lights, you know. It's not a town if I don't have any lights on. So I think what I'm going to try to do is mix up. I think I'm going to do it just with a round. I'm going to try to do it with a round brush. We're going to find out how that works out. Instead of the palette knife, I'm going to use a round brush. I'm just going to use a lot of paint. So I'm going to grab a lot of yellow paint. Grab a lot of white paint. Mix them together. That's a pretty cool light, so I think it needs just a little bit of orange in there to warm it up. I think that's improved things. All right. Now, very carefully, I'm going to put some lights on there. I'm going to start in the water. I'm just going to try to like touch around. I think I'm going to use a little bit less paint for some areas. Try not to overdo it. Really keep them very straight. I might come in and do some more subtle ones too. Guess it just depends how I feel. I'm gonna add some orange in there too, I think. I really should have used like a smaller brush for this. This brush is too big. I'm gonna try just like drawing a line, see what it does. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm gonna throw some orange in there. Just throwing some red in there. I don't know how I feel about this quite yet. I'm gonna try to break that color up a little bit with my brush. It's a legal technique. Okay, I'm gonna start adding some of the lights in the town now. I'm gonna put one up in there. Trying to keep these pretty subtle. Don't want to end up with a blob of this paint in there. Try to make them a little bit bigger as they come a little closer. Not too big. I'm going to add some bigger ones in the shoreline. I guess this could read like fire too. Wasn't really the intention, but it sort of looks that way. I'm okay with that. And I'm gonna darken this color up a little bit with some orange and go a little bit thinner and just add lots of little touches in there. To read like, yeah, there's some lights on back there, but sort of darker. Biffed that one. Try that again. Need more blue. Made a mess right there. I need some more of that darker blue. All better. Ish. Okay, what now? What now? Maybe we do some work in there. Get a little bit blendier in certain spots to read like not straight lines. Trying to break some stuff up a little bit. Throw a little bit of red in places over here. Vary up the colors a little bit. Put some more yellow in there. Okay, now let's see. I think I need some orange. In the water a little bit over here. Okay, I'm going to break this guy up a little bit. I like what that's doing, so I'm just kind of going with that. Try not to overdo it now that I've found a new technique. Definitely overdid a little bit. Destroyed some beautiful bits, but it's okay. All right, what now? What now? Let's see. I think I want to define some of the back structures a little more. I think I'm allowed to do that. Just washing my brush. All right, let's get some more. I need to mix up a shadow color again. Put way too much brown in there. I guess it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter too much, but okay. Let's try and get this a little bit more refined looking. All right, that's it. I gotta pick the thing up. Try to keep it in the frame so you can see. Trying to do this with brushes that are too big. That's the impressionist way, is using brushes bigger than what you're comfortable using. Go one up from where you're comfortable. Then you're uncomfortable. Let me tell you, I am uncomfortable. I feel like I just made it worse. I don't know what it's supposed to be anymore. Let's get a liner. I'm being quiet. I'm trying to be focused. I put the finishing touches on these buildings here. All right, what do we think about that? I think it's all right. I want to add another more detailed one in here. A little more water in here to get my paint to flow off a little easy. Just touching it to blend it a little bit. Trying to get this to sit on there darker, but it's mixing with those pesky clouds. Maybe I'll add some more dark bits in there. Maybe in the front here too. Just some abstract stuff, nothing crazy. It's looking a little homogeneous. Let some spontaneous things happen. I think I want to define this hill back here a little bit more rigid. Oh, wiped it all the way off. Didn't mean to do that. It's a little overzealous with that, so I'm going to throw some more orange in there to bring some of that back. Alright, I'm doing damage now, so it's time to stop touching it. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with that. It's got some neat things going on. One thing I'm seeing right now is that I want this guy to be a little bit more defined. I'll touch the bottom a little bit, blend it in. Okay, now I'm done touching it. Promise. I'll pick it up here in a minute after I'm done washing my brush, and I'll give you a closer up. Let me wipe my hands off so I don't get paint all over it. Okay, this palette out the way. So we got I really like what happened up in here. There's lots of sort of interesting textures that appeared. I feel like maybe I need to define what's water and what's not water here at the beginning. Or I'm sorry, at the horizon line or whatever you want to call it, the shoreline. I feel like I need to define that a little bit more. So maybe I'll do that real fast. Go back in with that dark color and just put a really thin line in there. real precise, like. Picked up some yellow. It's crazy to me how much this golden open is like oil paint. It really feels very similar. I guess if you're someone out there who wants to use oil paint but doesn't like water mixable oils and wants to paint in your house, this is a good alternative, I think. It's got that long working time, gives you lots of time to blend colors together, and it dries real thick. Okay, their shoreline's more defined now. I think I should stop touching it. I think it looks okay. Anything else I do to it is going to be scary and do damage. So I'm going to stop. Just wiping my hands off here so I can close the stream out with my hand that's not covered in paint. That's it for me. I guess I'll give one more look. One more look with the shoreline added. All right. That's it.